After the queen fell in battle, her soul unexpectedly transmigrated into the body of a lowly palace maid 60 years in the future. She was moments away from being pressed into a water tank to drown, but as the queen of a nation, she would never tolerate such humiliation. She immediately took control of the situation. In just a few moves, she knocked down all those who had been tormenting her. She even hung up the lead maid who had been bullying her to interrogate her about the current year. Upon hearing that it was the 50th year of the Qinglong era, she immediately remembered the vow her son had made as a child, that if he ever became king, he would use the era named Qinglong. She suddenly realized the truth. The one sitting on the throne now was her own son. Learning that the king was now over 70 and had long suffered from chronic illness, she was instantly filled with sorrow. Just then, the crown prince happened to pass by. She immediately noticed how much he resembled the late king. Tears involuntarily flowed down her cheeks. It wasn't until a nearby eunuch scolded her for breaching protocol that she remembered 60 years had already passed and her husband was long gone. So she asked the crown prince to take her to see the king. The crown prince, seeing a lowly maid dare to speak the king's personal name, was about to punish her for grave disrespect. Unexpectedly, at that moment, a court eunuch reported that the king's health had deteriorated, urging him to quickly enter the palace to see the king. Since going through the crown prince was no longer an option, she decided to have the crown prince's younger brother, Prince Jing, escort her into the palace. She unexpectedly ran into Prince Jing tormenting another palace maid, using her as an archery target. In the nick of time, she shot down the arrow he had just released. She demanded that Prince Jing apologize to the maid. But Prince Jing, a prince of the realm, was hardly going to follow her orders. He stormed over, intending to teach her a lesson. Unexpectedly, she took advantage of his momentary lapse and knocked him to the ground, humiliating him in front of everyone. Prince Jing was furious, his anger boiling over. On the spot, he challenged her to a martial contest, saying that if she won, he would consider apologizing to the palace maid. He drew a precious sword, and she immediately recognized it as her son's sword. Without hesitation, she grabbed a firewood stick, and in a few swift moves, defeated Prince Jing completely. She even yanked off his belt in the process. Defeated and having to honor the bet, Prince Jing reluctantly apologized to the palace maid. She then asked him to escort her to see the king. But Prince Jing revealed that he was under house arrest, restricted to the crown prince's mansion and his own residence. In that instant, she realized that the king was protecting this reckless descendant. With no other choice, she turned back to the crown prince, hoping he would take her to see the king. But the crown prince suspected her motives and refused outright. In desperation, she recited a secret phrase passed down through the royal family. The crown prince was instantly shocked. The phrase corresponded to a location that concealed a life-saving secret known only to the royal family in times of emergency. A secret only he and the king knew. It immediately made him question her identity. She calmly replied that once his grandfather awoke, he would naturally reveal who she really was. With that, the crown prince escorted her into the palace. Seeing the king lying unconscious on the bed, she was overwhelmed with grief. She recalled her son's lively, adorable childhood, and now, he was frail with white hair. Heartbroken, she stepped forward to gently touch the king's face, even calling him by his childhood nickname. The crown prince, realizing her identity might not be simple, immediately ordered his men to check her records. But they found nothing unusual. She had no apparent connection to the royal family. Just as the crown prince was puzzled over her true identity, she approached and requested a palace token that would allow her unrestricted access, so she could visit the king. Under her imposing presence, the crown prince handed her the token on the spot. Unexpectedly, while she was practicing her martial arts, Prince Jing walked in, bringing along a martial arts expert to challenge her. If she lost, she would have to become his concubine. But she declared that if he lost, he would have to call her great-grandma. The expert, confident in his spear skills, believed that apart from the invincible founding queen, no one could surpass him in spear mastery. Little did he know that the woman before him was the very founding queen he feared.